Hello and welcome to the Two-Man Power Trip of Wrestling. I'm your host, JP John Paz. With me today is two very special guests. One is the man behind the Creative Control Network. The other is the man behind the Mike Durbin Show. But of course, they are both a part of Get My Go, and Get My Go Season 2 has begun. Of course, Joe Feeney and Mr. Mike Durbin. What's going on, fellas? How you doing today?
John, I'm a little upset that you didn't do your standard. Hello.
Hello and welcome. Yes, I know. Two people do not like it. That is Vince Russo and Disco. They do not like that intro, even though it's a nice homage to the great Chris Mad Dog Russo. But those two, I guess, do not like him.
It's your trademark. You got to stick with it. I don't have one necessarily. When I did Creative Control Daily, I would just start in the middle of my own conversation with myself. So there you go.
I thought it was going to be sleeping on the air. I thought that was going to be your thing.
Sleeping on the air, yeah.
So let's start with Mike. Mike, what's going on with Get My Go Season 2? I know you guys have a new target.
We are back. Yeah, we have. Well, he's not going to be the target for the whole season. He's in the first episode, and he will probably be in the second episode, and maybe a few more times because he's got a lot of material. Just like our good friends at WWR, there is no shortage of material with this guy. His name is Wrestling Otaku. Some of you may know about him. What would you classify him as, Joe? Like a YouTube streamer?
YouTube personality, fantasy booker type dude, woman hater.
Woman hater, definitely. He's very misogynistic. He hates women, and he's going to let us know why he hates them, because there are at least 10 reasons why he hates women.
Why does he hate women? That's kind of weird.
Well, you'll see in the next episode.
I hope he has like a Dave Letterman top 10 where he pulls the thing.
That's interesting with him, though. Like, where does he pop up from? How the hell do you guys know who he is? Is just from searching the internet, or somebody led you to him?
Do you know Girl on Cinema?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I became aware of her like maybe 6 months ago.
Jim Cornette's daughter.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I noticed on her YouTube page, she had a couple different like clapback videos at him. Because I don't know who started with who first, but it was Girl on Cinema and Wrestling Otaku. They were going back and forth. It's very entertaining. They both have a strong dislike for each other. And so I was just looking through this guy's videos, and I'm like, God damn, like, how can you have these videos on the internet? You know, even if he seems normal, I don't know if he is a little mentally, challenged. I don't know. I'm not saying that, but you think he would have to be if he's got these videos on the internet that if anybody at a job or, a potential mate for him in the future were to see these things, he'd be fired or, friendless or, nobody would want anything to do with him, but he's got just hundreds of videos on there.
You'd have to figure he's given up on the prospects of employment or a relationship. So good for him. There's a certain kind of freedom in that, isn't there? You just don't have to worry about anything. That's fucking awesome.
Is he popular?
Well, as we stated in our first episode back, he is way more popular than Wrestling with Reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's got a few thousand YouTube followers as opposed to their 112. He's got a lot of hate viewers. And Joe, you said something about a Reddit group?
Yeah, it's what I heard. Someone told me there's a whole Reddit group dedicated to him. So basically what you're saying is his obnoxiousness is far more entertaining than John and Martin's obnoxiousness.
To other people, yeah.
It's other people, yeah.
But who the hell is he, like, in general? Like, what is that name? I don't even understand that reference. Well, what is Otaku? What is this nonsense?
Well, I can see you didn't watch our first episode, John.
I missed it. No.
Yeah.
I listened to it on the
audio. Okay.
On the audio.
Yeah. We'll get that up in a couple weeks. But we actually looked it up on air. We didn't know what otaku meant, and it means like it's a Japanese word, and it means like a young person who is so into computers or anime or something else, some interest, so much that it's a detriment to his social standing and things like that. And it's a perfect name for him.
Yeah, that's pretty genius.
Yeah, there's a lot of otakus in the wrestling, in the IWC, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what is it about this guy that you said, okay, Wanglin, Martin, okay, they're over here, but this guy needs to be covered? Why?
Well, we did I mean, we had episode 50 was the last episode, but in actuality, we did about 60 episodes because there was a lot of part twos and bonus episodes. There was at least 60 episodes on these two guys, John and Martin. So, we wanted to move on and do some other people, and I thought this wrestling otaku guy has to be the first guy back. And I wanted to do the 10 reasons why women of this generation are trash. That was the one I wanted to do. So I clipped that video months ago, and I was ready to do it. And I'm not going to say who we're doing it with, but I knew exactly the woman that I wanted to join us for this episode. So
yeah,
it's been just a scheduling conflict. Joe is so busy every night. He's, Raven Effect Mondays, Rehash.
Tuesdays, actually, we're doing this Tuesday. Like, I got to do Rehash, but like, then, yeah, you're right. Wednesday is Conan and Jim Ross. Thursdays, Conan and Pritchard. Fridays, Arn. Thursday also includes Raven. Saturdays, like, that's no exaggeration. Like, there is something scheduled for me every day, and then there's just stuff that I have to slip in. Like I got to put out Conan Patreon stuff every day, and I'm not the kind of person that really just releases it. Like, anything we record on K100, not to get on a side topic or whatever, I re-listen to. So if we record 7 hours a week, I spend another 7 hours, editing it and making sure that we're all good. So it really is a lot of time, but I think it's worth it. I mean, I don't have any complaints about anything I'm doing right now. I'm pretty proud of the stuff that I'm doing, actually. So, and I've made, I've said this a million times on various shows, but somehow I managed to turn the little niche into a job. So who am I to complain if I'm just working from home at a desk? I can just go upstairs to my fridge. I can go sit out on the deck. I can fucking pet the cat. I can chase my wife around, stuff like that. So I don't have any room to complain. It is busy though. Like, even when I went to Vegas, which was like I wanted to be half personal, half business, half pleasure. It was like 90% business. The only fun I had was like after the Conan live show. Everything else I was either working or helping Conan set that thing up or editing Conrad shows while I'm there. So it's I don't know why I'm rambling about that. Yeah, but cut me off.
Yeah, wait, what does the guy do with wrestling?
What am I doing? What am I doing?
He's just bragging about all the things he's involved with.
I think it's like a therapy couch. No, yeah. So Mike was saying scheduling's hard. Yeah, I believe the third co-host we're going to get for that, it'll probably be a weekend. So we have to nail down a Saturday or Sunday where we're all free.
Yeah.
Seems like a crazy topic on his part, just on the surface.
Oh, the 10 things about women?
Yeah.
Well,
like
he did that, and then he did another one after that where he added some more reasons. And then I think there's another one specifically about one of the reasons. So, I mean, the guy is a troubled individual. So,
would you now I'm gonna fuck this up even more and step in as interviewer. Would you ever consider having him on? Like, we would never have John on. We potentially could have Robin. Would you have Wrestling Otaku on to close the season?
Definitely. I definitely would. Yeah. I mean, there's no...
Would it be combative or would it be fun?
I don't know how he'd react to it. He may like the attention. I don't know how. I don't know him that well. Like, I know John Wingeling. I know this man. After listening and watching to many, many hours of this guy's shows, and, we've analyzed his psyche for 60 episodes. So I feel like I know this guy. And I wouldn't want to talk to him on the air. I have talked to him on the phone before.
Yeah.
Since Get My Go started, I was talking to Martin on the phone a few months ago, and he ambushed me, and I didn't know you could do 3-way calling. Like, I didn't know you could do that anymore on cell phones, but
yeah.
All of a sudden this guy's yelling at me, and it wasn't Martin. I go, who is this? I thought it was Martin's brother, like the guy in the, the one that it's in the army that's always bragging about him. I thought it was Martin's brother, like, yelling at me. And then I'm like, who is this, man? And he's like, this is John Wanglin. I'm like, are you don't sound like yourself, man. You sound very different. Like, are you sure? Like, who is this for real? And it was him. So I talked to the two of them on the phone for like 10 or 15 minutes. And I'll talk to him off air, but the minute you hit that record button, he goes into lying mode, and the manipulative shit starts coming out. So
I wish he would have introduced himself like full. This is Jonathan F. Wanglin. F is for fucking.
So yeah, I would definitely have Otaku on. Definitely. Yeah.
That's cool.
What about getting Girl on Cinema on there?
She kind of big timed. I don't know if I asked her to come on my show or Get My Go a couple months ago, and I think she didn't answer or something. Yeah. Russo brand members will remember this, but I don't know how it came up, but somehow one of her clips might have gotten played on a Russo show, and he was aware of who she was. I think I may have sent him some clips of her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, you got to get a hold of this girl and do something with her, because she has the exact same mentality about the business as you do. It's like the whole casual fan thing that Russo talks about, as he says, to nauseum. That's her thing. It's like the casual fan, you know. That's what she's all about. So it's like you got to do something with this girl. And then it was like, oh well, I followed her. She needs to follow me before I write to her. I'm not going to write to her if she doesn't follow me, and she wouldn't follow him. Like, I messaged her. I'm like, yo, I can get you on a Russo show if you want. You just got to follow him back. And she said, I'm not going to follow him because then the Jim Cornette fans will be after me. And I left it at that. I'm like, okay, forget it, man. It would have been awesome if the two of them would have got together.
Yeah, I have no qualms about saying that I attempted to get girl on a podcast. Like, just give me a video. We'll convert it to audio. You don't got to do anything. Because I've learned since we brought Francine on that these companies, they go nuts for female co-hosts or hosts, and I'm like, I told her, I'm like, you could make some money. We could make some money, of course, but you can make some money. And I think what she basically said was she preferred the video format and all that, and she's just happy with the way she's doing it. I said, all right, well, that door is there. There's another potential female show that might start on Creative Control Network as well. So bringing in the ladies.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, if that's what she wants. But that's weird with the Cornette stuff. I don't think anybody would give a damn or even pay attention to that.
You never know.
They won't know if you follow Russo. I guess you can see it if
you can see it, and there's
you know what? There are some demented brand members, but there are some real sicko Cornette fans. Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah, big time.
Joe's in the cult of Cornette.
Yeah, I've gotten into some shit in there just because I would go to plug the Cornette show or I would defend Disco, and a few people knew who I was and stuff like that. Like, of course you're defending him. I'm like, no, it's not like that exactly. Like, if I thought Disco was wrong, I'd say I think Disco was wrong. I don't know. So it was only a couple of times, but yeah, it's an interesting group.
So with this guy Otaku, you think he's aware of Get My Go at all?
Not yet. Doubtful. Because I didn't tag him in anything.
Not, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't tag him in any posts or anything. So and I didn't see anybody else do it either. So I guess I kind of want him to be aware of us. Maybe we can, eventually have him on. I'd love to talk to him. I'd love to get in that guy's head.
We did just spend a whole episode, calling him a fat pedo and things of that nature. So I don't know how.
Yeah, well, we didn't call him a
don't look at me.
Yeah, we didn't call him a pedophile. Somebody else called him a pedo. Yeah. Numerous times.
Yeah, yeah.
Would that be Hughesley? Would that be him?
It would be, yeah.
Hughesley's got a certain style.
I love that name. I can't even call him Hughesley anymore. It's Hughesley just because
Hughesley.
of Conan.
Yes.
Yeah. Does Conan really not know that's his name, or is he joking? Because I feel like he really thinks it's Hughesley.
I don't know. He said other names too, but he seems to have settled on Hughesley. So I guess that's it now.
I like that.
And but if Hughesley gets to 55,000 subscribers, Conan will make an appearance on his podcast. I don't know if you heard that news yet.
An appearance, though, not a guest spot or an interview.
Not an interview. I don't know what it would entail, but they will be on the StreamYard or whatever Zoom at the same time. So that's Hughesley's been going for it for years. Do a drop, maybe you could. That's no reward though. You got to give him the FaceTime, the one-on-one. Give him a reward.
Now, Usually came back into the fold. Usually came back in the fold for this, but he didn't do the last few episodes of Get My Go. So how did he get back in?
Well, that's the kind of weird thing I was thinking about that. Everyone's like, oh, Hughesley's back. He it's not like he was gone. I mean, he skipped every, maybe every third or fourth episode he wasn't on it. If you go back and look at who was on what episode, it just so happens that we recorded, I think the last part was a 3-parter, Joe? Was it 47, 48, 49?
There was a 3-part Martin deal in there somewhere towards the end.
Whatever, there was 48, 49, and 50 were all together. And we did those all in one recording session. And then I think Hughesley might have been on the 2 before that. That was also a one recording session. And we did the go to sleep one. Yeah, there was like a 2 or 3 part Martin arc,
Yeah.
and he was on that one. So it just seems like it's been a long time because he wasn't on the last 3 episodes, and then we took a 2 or 3 month break. So
So it's not like he really left. You record a bunch, you tape it, you edit it. Joe does nothing. He just sits there and you edit it, you put it together.
yeah,
Basically the next week, or could be recorded the next week, but it really won't come out for another 3 weeks because you've got a bunch to put out.
yeah. I mean, there was a point like in the middle of the season when I had like the next 6 episodes, marked out. I didn't edit them all yet, but I had them all lined up, like what's going to be what. I had them all mapped out.
Damn, that's
meticulous.
Pretty, yeah, that's good. You got to get that shit in the can. But 6, wow.
Yeah, well, I figure if we got a bunch of guys on a Saturday morning, we might as well do 2 episodes. And if they go long, which most of them tended to go long, especially if certain people were on it.
Yeah.
We may do a 3-hour, recording session for one topic. So,
with Wanglin not being the focus, have you noticed like a lack of energy? Have you noticed any of that? Because it seemed like with him, it's like everybody's into it, everybody's loving it. Can you bring that same energy when it's not him? You know what I mean? When it's another victim?
The views on we dropped it 3 or 4 days ago. The views are pretty much what they were for all the other episodes, except for like the Jeff Lane episode, which skyrocketed right away. The Jeff Lane episodes.
Yeah.
Jeff was on, I think, 4 altogether, but that anything Jeff Lane was on, like, just shot up really quickly in views, and this one's right up there. It's not like there's only 100 views on it. It and it's got a lot of comments. People loved it. I haven't heard one negative thing about it yet.
So they're okay with moving on from Wangler, I guess. Maybe they had their fill after that. Basically, the greatest story quote. The clip of all time. It was almost like that's the high point. It's like Seinfeld. Let's end on the high note.
I know we were kind of sick of doing those guys, and maybe the viewers were as well.
I got sick of Martin, but John's the greatest.
Yeah,
I like doing John episodes.
Even like they still put out stuff occasionally, and I will never watch the whole thing, but I'll skip randomly through it just to see what's going on. And anytime I hit that stop button and play at any point in the video, you can be sure within 30 seconds, John says something either incorrect or just so ridiculous. He fascinates me, man. Both of them do.
Well, I'll give you. Speaking of bragging, we'll do a little bragging here because the Get My Go podcast feed. This is fucking incredible. Has a lifetime downloads of 668,352, and I will show the screen this so they can. It's fake. No, it ain't, dude. The show's been going since June.
Yeah.
Or at least we stopped recording around then. So in the last 30 days, with no shows, no promotion, whatever, people just knowing about it. Number 1 is episode 48, Go to Bed, with 809 views in the last 30 days. The Fruits of Dean's Labor 3 at 3 has 488. You'll See episode 33 has 355. An Inspired Goodbye 2 and Flogging the Dolphin both have over 300. That's the top 5. In the last 30 days, people just going back and revisiting them. So, I think
maybe catching it for the first time. Maybe
they could be catching it for the first time. Yeah, because I think people. It's better. It's almost better now. It's almost like instead of like I'm watching Heels, and you watch it week to week. But then if you were watching Ozark, you could bang it all out at once if you wanted, right? So with Get My Go, it was a fun thing to follow as it was happening. But now if you go back and listen to it in a row, like I know people who have done it, like that's probably quite the journey, because it really is. What a story, right? And then you bring Chad in, and Chad actually met him, and Jeff Lane comes in and has no idea why this guy's talking shit about him, and fucking effing for real guys leave, and John has a new idea, and it's really good. I always tell him, like I said it on here before, that I want my Blu-ray set before it all is said and done, so I can watch it in 10 years.
Yeah, and one of John's favorites, Corey Ryan. We did an episode about him, and then within a month, he's
with us.
We did one with him. So. And then
I still want to hear the rest of that Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart story. I still want to get the rest of that.
Poor Corey. And you know what? It's clearly it was like such an important moment to him, and all we could do was just fucking shit on it and put a stake through its heart and just bury it and dig it back up and kill it again. Man, he was actually a good sport, which is why I immediately
Yeah.
pulled back on that. I wouldn't make fun of him anymore.
No. Yeah, I took that episode about him. I took that off. I think the audio one's still up, but I took the video off. So
Yeah, I think the audio's still up.
I'm with him though a little bit though. I met Hogan twice in the same night, so I'm with him. With meeting some of those guys is awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's been not really wrestlers, but when I meet like musicians of bands that I love, like when I met Nikki Sixx 3 times, and each time I've met him, it's like I freeze up. I can't think of anything to say to him, because this is like, that's my Shawn Michaels, like to Corey, like the musicians. Like if I were to meet, I've met Gene Simmons a few times, but oddly enough, Gene Simmons is like, when you meet him, I just felt like I was meeting some businessman. Yeah. I didn't get nervous or anything around him, but there are certain, famous musicians that I met that I've just, because that's what I'm really a fan of,
Yeah. And if someone was to take your stories, they could certainly parody them. Or if someone was to take my insignificant, I hung out with Axl Rose for 8 minutes story, they could parody the balls off that too, So it just so happens that Corey he got in the line of fire, because he was doing it on that show. Which is unfortunate for him.
True. I met the lead singer of Fozzy a few times, and we were fake arguing over was Dean Malenko feud better than Shawn Michaels feud. So I feel I know where Corey Ryan's coming from. I know what he's.
That man's a tremendous star all across entertainment.
Yes.
Very big.
Why would anybody rip him? I don't know. I'm still perturbed about that, but that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah.
There are a few guys you can't make fun of. I mean, come on. You can't. You just can't.
It just doesn't. I could see the Punk thing, and we know what we're talking about.
I don't see it. I don't see the Punk thing.
I could see making fun of Punk fans, and not me or you. Of course, we're the cool ones, but those other bastards. Yeah, and then I don't see what the problem is with Jericho. It's unless they're just ripping what Cornette's or aping, repeating what Cornette says. I have no idea.
See, I love Punk since 2003. The first time I saw him was Death Before Dishonor. He's fighting Raven in the dog collar match. It's like, oh, this guy's freaking cool. He keeps going over Raven. It's like, wow, this guy must be something. Keeps going over this huge star from everywhere, WWE, WWF, TNA. And it's like, wow, who is this guy, Punk? So I'm a big Punk fan, and I loved his return. I thought that was great. I like him more as a heel, and I don't know how you'd make him a heel, but I big time. I'm probably a bigger fan of Danielson for sure, but I just love Punk as well.
It helps to have a cool name. Like that name you just remember immediately. CM Punk. It's easy. And it's funny for like some of the fans he has, myself included, like he's straight edge, this and that. And you got a lot of drunk fans that are like fans of this guy who's saying, you guys are lesser than me, whatever. I don't know. He's somehow
better than you. Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody, I know you're a big Punk fan.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Always or is it WWF or before that?
Well,
WWE.
I think the first I don't go back to 2003 like you, but I think it was when he went to did he go to SmackDown first from ECW?
ECW it probably was SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's when I first became aware of him because I don't think I watched ECW much back then.
Yeah, I wasn't watching
fake ECW.
I watched ECW for him, and then once Paul was going, I knew it was going to be trash, and I stopped watching for like 5 years. But I was aware, and I remember my dad telling me, like, hey, Punk just won the fucking world title. He cashed in. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool, but they're not going to take him seriously as champion, and they didn't that first time, of course. But
not at all.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week for all that stuff. What about it, John? You want to go to the Arthur Ashe Stadium?
I thought about it, but I think it's going to be 4 hours. I'm not doing that. Because they're taping Dynamite and Rampage back to back. If it was just Dynamite and Danielson's in the main event, I would go, but I'm not doing both back to back. It's too long.
Oh, so they'll put Danielson on before 10 o'clock, and then they'll tape Rampage. Right?
Yep, and probably Punk will be on right after. I'm guessing starting at 10, that they'll probably do that, and then he'll start off the show on Friday, which is 2 hours.
Yeah,
so.
We talked about that on K100 this week. How they should have loaded Dynamite with everybody, but for some reason they got Cole and Punk on Friday night. You think you would have put all these guys, let's fucking kill it for Wednesday, but I guess they're dependent on Omega Danielson. They think that's enough of a reason for people to watch. I guess it is, for some fans. I don't know if
and Sting's wrestling too on Dynamite.
I was Sting and Darby, yeah,
against FTR.
Yeah, it's a good card. I don't know if it's going to bring in like WWE fans necessarily, but I guess we'll see. We had a bet on the show if they were going to beat 1.4 million or whatever their record was. Of course, I said that they would, and Disco said they wouldn't. So we'll find out.
Oh, yeah, let's see. I think they'll get close. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Danielson wrestling, I don't know. It's pretty interesting.
That was Conan's contention that they'll get right there, So we'll see.
People always think, I don't know what you guys think, everyone's thinking Punk is the bigger star. I think Danielson is a lot bigger star. He main evented a few WrestleManias. Punk has main evented 0.
No.
It's a
You're
tough.
talking mainstream star.
Punk's a bigger
CM Punk, when he came back, he was on every media outlet for that following week. ESPN, everything.
And he had his
but he was never booked as the main eventer in WWE.
It doesn't matter.
And Bryan was
more well known.
Bryan was more recently a main eventer too. Bryan was the main eventer this year.
WrestleMania this year, main evented.
Yeah, maybe wrestling right now, Bryan. Like WWE fans, he might be a bigger star because you have to remember, Mike. If he didn't wrestle since 2014, the fans that have joined in between that, they don't really know him. They know him from video games and shit, maybe in the network. But Punk's definitely a bigger mainstream star. Don't forget he had a whole reality show prior to his UFC run, which I was one of the few people to watch.
It's pretty close though, those two.
Yeah.
Even when they were in WWE together, when they did their house show loop, they were on the same show. They were beating Cena's show. So I mean, it's not like they both weren't popular in WWE together, but definitely pretty good. But that fan made out like a bandit. Now he's boys with Punk. He's hanging out backstage with him.
The crying fan. Yeah. I knew that was going to happen. There's so many, there's shots of wrestling fans crying with everything anymore. So that was like, dude, they were waiting for that. Just great job by their production.
I feel like maybe somebody shouldn't be making fun of the crying fan. I don't know. Maybe you can, but I don't know. Usually, you bastard. What are you doing making fun of that guy?
I think he's gotten super emotional when he met Bret Hart, things of that nature, Hasn't Rob talked about what a big emotional moment it was to meet Terry Funk or something? Like, everybody gets like that in certain situations with certain of their heroes or whatever, So I said to them yesterday, I thought that they, and I only know what my idea of their concept is, but when they were busting my balls about the Jericho episode, I said, well, this whole concept just seems like something that the guys we just made fun of would do. That seems to be, we made fun of John and Martin a lot for acting better than other fans, for shitting on wrestlers they had no business shitting on. So I was like, well, aren't you guys just doing that with this new show? And he's like, well, you haven't listened to it. I'm like, yeah, probably not. I guess you're right about that. So maybe the perception is wrong. Maybe everyone should give Dork Side of the Ring a shot. It looks popular in the brand group. There's a few people that enjoyed it.
Mike, weren't you in the stands for Punk's return?
Sure was. Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
Oh, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Was that the loudest crowd you've ever heard live?
Definitely. Yep. And I was at Money in the Bank 2011.
Oh, that's a good kind of comparison. Yeah, the crowd was nuts too.
Well, here, if that return would have taken place in the Allstate Arena, it would have been even louder because that place, as Jericho has said many times, that wood ceiling in the Allstate Arena, it is the perfect venue for acoustics. It just sounds massive, But the United Center that night, it was louder than anything I've heard in that United Center. And I've seen major Blackhawks playoff wins. I've seen Rolling Stones. I've seen Kiss. I've seen
You've seen.
Oh, you went for the Jordan playoff games?
No, Blackhawks.
Oh, I thought you were
like
there for the Bulls. I was going to.
No. Yeah, I never went to a Bulls game.
Oh.
Yeah, I never went to a Bulls game.
You bastard.
While Jordan was playing, I went after, but
yeah.
I've seen many things in that United Center, and I mean, I saw all the nitros they had back in the day, and those are pretty loud. The one with Rodman coming out.
Yep.
That was the second nitro that they had here. This was insane, man. This was like, it was crazy.
I think the only two people who could have approached that level of a pop is probably Michael Jordan and Mayor Lightfoot. You know, she would probably blow the roof off that place.
Yeah. That would have been a loud pop, but not a good one.
I was actually worried the way they were going to mic it, because sometimes I've noticed AEW, especially when they're in Jacksonville, you can't hear the crowd, and sometimes you can't hear the music. So this was the case where I heard the music, and then the crowd was so loud that like it hushed the music, which is crazy. I mean, that's rarefied air to do that. But you could tell, like, okay, they nailed it on the production, and it actually came through like just as good as it was. Obviously not as loud in the arena, but it came through great.
Live, it was definitely, the music was not loud. You know, we could barely hear the music, especially when he walked out, because we didn't know if it was going to be a fake out. You know, we didn't know. You know, was MJF going to walk out to his music? We didn't know what was going to happen. And once he came out, oh, you couldn't hear any music, man.
Yeah.
You just heard.
And all you needed to hear was and you're good. You know.
But I was at that Raw when they I think it was April 3rd of 2014. I was at the Raw in Chicago when, 3 months after he left, when we thought he may come back that night, and Heyman came out. So. And I'm sure a lot of people were at that Raw, and we're also at this United Center thing. So we didn't know, man. No, we didn't know what was going to happen. But once we saw him, then we knew it was real.
Did you guys have a problem with how he's been used since he came back?
I don't care personally. I mean, personally, I don't care. Like, I don't care that he's starting with Darby Allin. I don't really know anything. I didn't watch AEW. I never watched a minute of AEW before that Rampage I went to, and so I didn't know about Darby Allin. All I know is like with Cornette, and he's like the only one I listen to that reviews AEW. But all these guys, like, I've always heard about them, so I don't know anything about him. Yeah, I don't care that he's starting off with these lesser opponents. I don't want to see MJF right away. Like, let him build. He hasn't wrestled in 7 years. He's probably not at his best yet. He needs to get his win back. He needs to get moving again. I mean, how many matches has he had?
What did you guys think of the Allen match, though?
I loved
Very
it.
good.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I loved it. I love the
Old
new.
school.
I love the pants. I love the look. People,
Old school
he
too.
looks
Slow.
too
Good.
skinny. He looks so thin.
If you had
Really, you'd see him flexing after the match. Not that skinny.
Yeah, I mean, his upper body was. I mean, it was more muscular than it was when he was in UFC. I mean, when he was in UFC, he was like a lean. They all
cut
are.
to 170. He was a welterweight. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably like, he's got to be like 215. I would imagine right now, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
if you had the chance to meet Punk, Durbin, but the only concession was
I've met him like 5 times.
Yeah, but to have a personal conversation, it has to happen on a beach, and you have to be shirtless, and you guys have to share a family-sized beach towel. Are you down for that? The beach towel meeting?
No, I don't need to meet him again.
What
You
an
got to
odd-
realize. You
what
got to
an odd
realize.
question.
Yeah, that's a weird question. You got to realize when he was off for 7 years, he would do the comic convention here every year.
Oh yeah, Chicago Comic Con, right?
And there would be a point where, after a couple hours, he wouldn't have a line, and you could just walk up to him. I mean, that's the point he was at, where, like there was one year when, Punk was at the Pro Wrestling Tees booth, right? Like, they sponsored him to be there. And then you had AEW at the next, like, section. Like, they had a huge area, AEW did. And the Bucks were there, and I think Omega, like, all these AEW stars are there, and they all had massive lines wrapped around the building. And Punk, you could just walk right up to him and get your thing signed and a picture with him. So
I've met him.
I mean,
I never had a bad experience.
No, he's always very kind, and he takes his time with each person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wrestlers. I'm sure everybody listening and watching has they've met wrestlers that take their time with you, and then there's others that don't even look at you. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Nice.
2012 or something, maybe.
Met Punk before in ROH. Never took a picture, which is probably pretty stupid in retrospect.
Yeah.
You got to figure if you were a big Ring of Honor fan back then, you could have been on his AIM list. Punk was on AIM talking to fans and stuff back then. So
Hey, he's boys with Rob Naylor, who I know very well. So I could have been right in that crew. Damn.
Yep, I actually do think about that. Like, geez, what if I tried
Bar
to
Mark and all those other guys? Damn it, I could have been in there.
Could have been in there. Everyone's going to Ring of Honor. I was going to fucking 3PW.
Man, you fucked up. Ring of Honor was awesome. I'd say from probably 03 to 08.
And that's when I was, but guess what? Tight with the blue meanie. How you feel about that, huh?
All right. A little bit. All right, that's fine. You missed ROH versus CZW. You missed Joe versus Punk. You missed Danielson's title reign. Danielson versus McGuinness.
That was like a really cold time for me. Like I said, like the last big thing I went to was the ECW reunion, but I didn't go to One Night Stand. I went to Hardcore Homecoming in Philly, 2005, and that was incredible, And then they did One Night Stand and then cooled it off for a year. And then when they came back and were on Sci-Fi, like we talked about before, it was kind of the shits. It wasn't what. And I've said this before, but between that and there was like like 3 deaths. It was like Candido, Guerrero, and then Benoit. I was like, I'm fucking done with this, dude. I can't. I'm done with this fucking sport. But can't get away, man. You can't get away.
But yeah, I'm back in, man. I'm really back into it with the. I was late to the party on the NWA. I didn't get into them until like 2 months ago when you guys, Joe, you had who'd you have first?
We had Aldis a few times. We had Mickey James. We had Trevor Murdoch. We had Chris Masters.
Yeah, and Camille. So
like,
they had like every week they had like an NWA star on it. And I'm like, you know what? Let me check this out. It's only $4.95 a month. Let me watch it. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I like that they just get up to the podium and they just cut promos. They're not reading off the fucking prompter. Backstage where it's you got one guy looking this way and then the other one's looking that way and they're both obviously reading off a teleprompter and it's shit that somebody's written for them. It's no good, man. I can't watch that anymore. So I love this NWA. I went to the weekend in St. Louis, the 2 pay-per-views and the 2 fan fests, and I had a great time at everything. Every minute of that weekend was great. So I'm a really hardcore fan now. And then thanks to Joe, I got cable now.
Thanks.
I haven't. I haven't had cable TV in like 10 years, and now with AEW, I went to Rampage at the United Center. I went to the Rampage 2 weeks later at the Hoffman Estates venue, 2 days before the All Out. Didn't go to All Out because I should have got tickets, but those things went really fast.
Yeah, it's all expensive.
Yeah, but I don't love it, but I really, really like what I've seen so far, and I feel like, even Cornette today on the episode he just came out with, he said he gives 2 thumbs up to the last Dynamite, and he's never said that. He said that there's more promos instead of just all wrestling, and he really enjoyed it. So I like what I've seen so far. So last week was the first cable wrestling that I've seen in many, many years. So yeah, I'm back into it right now.
I feel the same. Like it's hard for me to watch Raw, and I can't. I really rarely put SmackDown on too, but I'm on K100 to do these reviews, so I try. But like 8:00 rolls on Wednesday, I'm happily in my chair, like, ooh, here we go, Dynamite, and it's not always great, and I get some shit for it, on the YouTube and stuff for admittedly being a fan of the show, but whatever, dude. I like it, so whatever. I don't like all of it, but when you put guys like Punk, Danielson, Moxley, Jericho on the same show, guys that were my favorites in WWE anyway, obviously I'm going to like it. So who knows?
It's not bad. It goes by fast. I obviously have to watch it every week, but it goes by pretty fast. I don't mind watching it.
Did you picture that when this started, AEW, that there would be so much negativity towards it? Because to me, it was like, oh my God, they're going to be on TNT. All I've ever wanted was WCW back, of 96 to 98 WCW formula. I just wanted a TNT show to compete, different guys on, a different presentation and stuff. And then it started and people were like, I hate this. It's probably because of that Battle Royal.
It's weird reaction.
Battle Royal with the legless guy and the goofiness. And
there's a bunch of guys, I won't go through them, but there's a bunch of guys that needs to get rid of, like, immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And strengthen the roster. But I can't believe those fans. You're finally getting an alternative to crappy WWE, minus the Roman Reigns stuff, crappy WWE, and then they don't like it,
No.
and they turn on that. Like, oh, you guys are never going to be happy with that.
Yeah, like, what do you want? What do you want? Then go watch NWA. Go watch MLW. You know, Impact. I mean, I don't know what I haven't seen it in a little while, but when they have a big pay-per-view, I'll watch them. And I haven't had a complaint about Impact and their big shows for a long time. You know, so I don't know who's. Well, let's see. Callis was helping run things, and he's gone. And then his replacement was Tommy Dreamer. So I don't know what's going to happen there. He just got the boot from Busted Open, or indefinitely suspended, whatever you call it.
From Impact too, yeah.
And how John, how well do you know Tommy? Did you have a personal relationship? Or you just met him a couple times?
So basically, he said I'm the reason that his daughters think he's famous. So I know him a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. But really, that's kind of just an inside joke with me and him, because I used to own a Subway, and I brought him in for a signing, and I made him a bunch of posters, and he brought one home like for his daughters. He's like, I was on TV for 25 years in a row. It's like, and I'm not famous. She goes, yeah, but now you're on a Subway poster.
Yeah, you went to Subway.
Yeah. So she's like, yes, well, now you're famous. You're on a Subway poster or whatever. So he's like, I always joke around that you're the reason why my daughters think I'm popular. So I know him a little bit. I text him once in a while and stuff, and like just being friendly. And I booked him before. And I think I've done 3 interviews with him, something like that. So a little bit friendly with him. He means no harm. He's like one
That's
of the.
What I mean. That's why I asked you. Like he started as one of us anyway. He's one of those fans who went over the guardrail, and I've spoken to him a lot before I was even in any shows and stuff. And like I remember I saw him in this low budget horror flick, and if I wasn't lazy, I'd have the title ready. And he just played like someone's dad and had this really interesting scene. And I went over to him at one of the Collector Fest, and we talked about it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, dude, that is a good movie. I don't care what I'm like. He's like, did you expect it to suck? Like kind of his dry sense of humor. I'm like, well, it's a no-name flick on Amazon Prime. I didn't know what to expect, but I watched it. I watched it without knowing he was in it too, which was like, and he was shaved. I'm like, fucking Tommy Dreamer. I'll get you the title. It's actually pretty good, but that's what bothers me about it, is that Tommy, from my experience, is such a good dude, and it's
sweetheart of a guy. And everybody I've talked to, he goes to bat for them. Like even when Paul was giving everybody issues and money problems, he was the one going to bat for everybody. He used, but he tried to protect all the boys. PJ absolutely loves him. I mean, if he needs favors, or if he's in a pinch or something, Dreamer always helps. So it's kind of unfortunate of all the guys that they want to cancel. It's like it's the nicest guy who literally get along with everybody. Crazy.
That Dreamer movie is called Almost Mercy, by the way. I will also recommend that on Raven Show this week just to irritate him. But it's probably on Amazon Prime. Like, it's a good little horror flick. Not like monster horror flick, but like kind of, I think there's a school shooter and stuff like that. That's the kind of direction it takes. And Dreamer, somebody's dad. It's just good. I'm not even like shilling. Like I thought it was. I'm actually probably gonna rewatch it tonight now that I recalled it.
Do you notice that Mike changed his background? Did you notice that?
Mike Durbin show. What's on deck for the Mike Durbin show, Mike Durbin?
Well, I got the month off, right?
Yeah,
you told me. So thanks to Ric Flair, I got the month off.
Woo! Do you hear anything about? Oh, never mind. I don't want to talk about that on the air. I'll ask you off there.
As far as the Mike Durbin show, obviously you get rid of the Get My Go thing.
Yeah.
Is our old buddy and friend, is he ever going to make a return to be the victim of Get My Go?
Who?
Johnny.
Oh. Who?
You?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He'll be back soon, I think.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
I think. I mean, if everybody wants to do it, but yeah. I mean, in our group chat, somebody will send a clip. Usually it's Dean. Dean always picks the best ones, and he'll send something. Sometimes I find him too. I'm like, how can we not do this? Like, how can we not this Saturday? We need to do this episode of theirs, but we have not done it. But I mean, they're just. I mean, just the way John looks now, he looks odd.
You are watching or listening. If you are listening in audio later on, you are watching or listening to the Retro Wrestling Revival, and this is Down for the Count, our Tuesday night extravaganza. I am John Wanglin, and joining me here, as always, my partner on Down for the Count, the real deal, heel, Richie Reardon. How you doing, buddy?
Like, I don't know what the guy's doing with his hair. It's just somebody said he looks like he's cosplaying like a grade school child. So there's some. I don't know who made the comment on YouTube, but whoever did it, it was very funny the way you worded it. I ruined it, but
Yeah, no, I see it like picture day, where your mom would part your hair.
Where are they seeing him at?
I put a little clip of him in episode 51, just like a little teaser, like, "Hey guys, we haven't forgotten about them," and I put like a minute-long clip of one of their recent episodes, and it's just as entertaining.
I wonder if they're, if that's like a point of contention. They're like, "Oh, Get My Goes Back." Wait, it's not about us.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
They're not going to be interested in it. It's not about them.
Yeah, of course not.
So
I heard Francine was one of their new targets for some ungodly reason. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, if there's an example,
Don and Chris?
yeah, like they
they took some shots at her.
Oh.
and they'll take shots at Francine, I guess, because she does the show on Creative Control Network. But or because she did Get My Go, shout out.
Bumper.
It is amazing that you guys are on your 50th episode and you can thank the stupidity of the people around you for giving you all of this great content.
I don't know what the motivation is, but like if there's one, I'll just think about this. If there's one example for these guys to follow, and God knows they won't do it, it's fucking John Paz.
Yeah.
John has all these shows. He never starts shit with nobody. Even in this feud, you're like Switzerland, and that's a good place to be because you can have friends everywhere. You don't have enemies. No one's going after John Paz. Why would they? It's fucking stupid. So that, but it's too late for them. I don't know. People get a hair up their ass. I think, controversy is what it's going to, if I'm controversial, people are going to listen. No, people listen to Cornette. Yeah, because he's controversial, because he's Jim Cornette. You're not Jim Cornette. No one wants to hear you just repeat Jim Cornette talking points. And so I don't know. When I started, my friends would always say, ask about this, get the dirt. And I'm like, I don't want to do that kind of show. I don't want to do Dark Side of the Ring. When I started doing Creative Control, I just wanted to do a regular show. And, that's how you get some ins. You don't sling mud. You don't start shit. You don't ask unexpected questions or uncomfortable questions. It's not that hard.
I wonder why she's a target. I mean, she's pretty nice, but I guess because she did that bumper, I guess the whole hell is breaking loose.
So that means they hate Pillman, they hate Nick Gage, they hate Sandman.
Yep,
Sandman one was the best.
Yeah, that's right.
Fire one up, pop them open, bro.
Yeah, that's right. This is the hardcore icon himself, the Sandman, and there's nothing I love more on a Saturday than popping one open, firing one up, and watching Get My Go on YouTube. Congrats, dudes, on 50 shows. Hey, keep crushing those dorks from WWR, Wingaling, and the fraud Martin. Yeah, Martin, you're a fraud, dude.
Yeah, Martin, you're a fraud, dude.
So Philly. So very, very Philly.
Yeah, he's on the hit list now. Forget about it. Not going to like Sandman anymore.
Have you, Mike? I know we were talking about the CM Punk pops or anything, but if you can find yourself in a small 100 or 1,000, 2,000 seater to see Sandman do the Enter Sandman entrance, it never ever flops. It's never ever going to get old. He just did it again at Battleground. It was like the loudest reaction of the night from what the clips I saw and whatnot. That's a great time.
I was talking to Harry Slash not that long ago, and he was saying the loudest pop he ever heard was Sandman's return when he was in WCW and he left and came back. Yep, he said he's like, that's the loudest I've ever heard. He's like, and it's a small venue, albeit, and obviously the sound is and the acoustics is great there. But he was saying that's the loudest pop he ever heard was Sandman, which
so funny
doesn't surprise me.
He was only gone for a year, and it was still the same entrance that you've seen for 3 years, week in, week out. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's funny. He's got something. He's got that charisma, that star power those fans love.
He's a big guy,
and the awesome theme song. Easy for me to say.
Oh yeah.
What's he like 6'4" probably? Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah, he's a couple over me. Yeah, so he's probably about 6'4".
So as far as you, Joey Boy, who else can we look forward to seeing this year on Get My Go?
I don't know. I follow the lead, like you said. I kind of just show up 3 out of 4 times, and I trust Mike's judgment. I wasn't crazy excited about wrestling Otaku, but I had fun with it, and I'm interested. I know there's always it's more about the topic is fine and all. I think it's more about who you have on. You know, for a while, Husey and Mike and I had a good little rhythm, and Chad and Dean came in and they became like practically team members, you know, because they fit. There's some people that came on that, I don't know, it just didn't fit really. We had them on a few times, or we had them on once or something, or they just never came back for their own reasons. So I feel like that's the good mix there, you know. Of course, love to have old JP on, you know, love to have Jeff Lane back. But I think no matter what the topic is or whoever we're going after, as long as we have the hosts together that have a good rhythm and all that, it's all good.
I feel like John is the ultimate to me because it's unintentionally funny, but he's hilarious. Just some of the stuff that he says. So this guy Otaku seems like he might be like one of those annoying, not so much funny guys. You know what I mean? John's got this comedic element to him. Like some of these other guys, I don't know if they're going to have that same flavor. Maybe they will. Who knows?
I think Otaku will be a two-note story because obviously the video that we did, I would imagine all his videos are pretty much the same like that. But he has the added aspect of the tremendous 10 Reasons Women Are the Worst, which must be done as well, you know? So whether or not, I mean, it's up to Mike, but whether or not we continue, I think we'll just imagine on, you know, or not imagine, would reside with fan response and all that.
Yeah.
See a big Mark?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What does he like? What, Japanese wrestling? Oh, AEW.
No,
okay.
AEW, yeah. He hates WWE. He hates Vince McMahon. So
He wants to be on AEW's creative team.
yeah.
He
wants to
could join Tony Khan and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks.
Yeah. He puts it out there.
Yep.
That he wants to.
Contact him. He has great ideas like reforming, what were they called? Adam Cole's stable.
Undisputed Era.
He wants to, that's his big idea.
Yeah.
Bringing the
That was his
Undisputed
big
Era.
idea that he said he wanted Tony Khan to hire him because he wanted to reform something that was together a month ago.
Yeah.
Not really into Adam Cole and this thing. He just doesn't do it for me.
Right.
Too small, way too small. When your elbow pads and your knee pads can never stay on your body and your arms are like toothpicks, not going to do it for me. Like Danielson, like people are like, oh, he's small. He's actually kind of ripped. And Frank Trigg, who's actually a MMA legend, I was talking to him. He trained with Danielson. He says he's very heavy, and he competes pretty well against actual MMA guys when they're grappling and stuff. So like, okay, he's legit tough. I was like, Adam Cole, his girlfriend's bigger than him. I don't know if I particularly. Yeah,
I mean, if you
Danielson stopped a burglar, remember?
Yes, yeah.
The guy robbing his house, he took him down and put him in the old dragon sleeper.
and he's he's with one of the Bellas. So I mean, I give him the utmost respect and all.
I give Adam Cole the utmost respect. Britt Baker is way above the Bellas in my
really.
Oh,
That's a controversial opinion right there.
Yeah, that's a controversial.
I don't know why.
I like Britt though. But.
Britt Baker's not the kind of girl. I don't usually like thin girls like that. But for some reason, man, I first time I saw her in Shimmer, I was like, I paid attention to her, and then next thing you know, she was on All In, which I was also at the first All In. And I was like, wow, here, she's on the big stage now. I'm used to seeing her in front of,
she's pretty good.
Fans.
Yeah, she's good in the ring.
I don't care about that. I just like the character, like, and the fact that, she is a dentist, like she's obviously got to have some intelligence to her, So,
but you're saying she's more attractive than Brie Bella. Wow. Okay.
I don't like Brie Bella at all. I don't think Brie Bella's a
Brie mode, baby.
No way, dude. Nikki, yeah, but I don't. Brie, no.
The big star in the AEW locker room. I always said to Dion Conan, I was like, that the boys have to have a bet. Like, all right, who's going to be the first to get with Anna Jay? And your boy Jungle Boy, there it is.
Yep.
He closed.
And everyone said he was gay. Obviously, he's not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. I don't know why that was like the rumor out there, but yeah, Anna Jay, that's pretty impressive.
Every pretty boy is rumored to be gay, so that's it. Like me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anna Jay, Ty Conti, AEW.
Ty Conti, oh
yeah,
my God.
They got some good talent there.
There's a lot. I mean, it sounds like no one's going to hire Tessa, which is tragic.
Yep.
Emma floats around Impact. I don't know why they don't bring her in. Camille
is beautiful. Emma's
beautiful.
I just sent a picture in our group chat before we came on here. Some picture Emma just posted. I'm like, dude, why is this girl not like one of the top, female wrestlers? Like, stunning. And she was a great worker from what I remember.
She was. Yeah.
She could do that comedy style, and she was really good.
She was right in there with Paige and Charlotte, and Sasha. And at the beginning, she was right there. And then fucking that bogus shoplifting thing, I think, cut her knees out, cut her legs out.
Yeah, I
Unfortunately.
wonder. I guess she signed to Impact, but I wonder why WWE wouldn't bring her back, or that AEW hasn't signed her.
She showed up for like a battle royal or something, didn't she? And that was it.
I don't even remember.
She was on a pay-per-view for a battle royal like last year or something. But yeah, I mean, if allow me to wrestling otaku a little bit, if I was the booker, I'd certainly say, yo, let's beef up the women's division. I mean, we have talent and we have some rising stars, but like we need to thicken it up right now. Boom, Tessa, Emma, and fucking what's Camille's deal? How soon can we get Camille in here to just crush everyone? Because she's a fucking star and a half.
Yeah, that whole NWA weekend, like that was my big takeaway is Camille. I told Conan that when I was on with him, and then I think I told him when I met him. I saw Conan after both shows, so that was like, he asked me, he's like, what matches did you like? Who impressed you? And I was like, Camille, number one.
This is a classic K100 question, but who's she dating? Is it Latimer?
She's
Thomas Latimer.
Tom
Yeah,
Latimer,
living
yeah.
together. Yeah,
He used to date Charlotte, right?
yes,
He did?
they were engaged. Yeah.
No way.
Put
And he
that on
had
my-
some.
put that on
Actually,
my-
I talked to him not too long ago. He had some addiction problems that ended up ruining that relationship.
that was the thing, yeah.
Wow,
But he's clean and sober now.
But that's the thing, interesting thing about Conan. I mean, I don't know people's perceptions and whatnot. Obviously, I've had a long working relationship with him, and I don't see some of the negative things you hear or whatever. But he's way into like what people liked and what they watched, and like who's over with you. Who does the crowd react to? Like, he's way into that. And to me, that's the smartest way to be if you're going to be, booking or creative or whatever. You have to get that feedback. You can't just dismiss it.
I mean,
Like some people or organizations, they just dismiss it. We know what they want. No, why don't you ask them?
I noticed he's pretty smart, like to who's good and who's not. Like sometimes I notice Disco is just kind of either assuming or just doesn't like the guy. He's like, oh, this guy stinks or this guy's not that good. Conan's like got his ear to the ground. Like he actually knows or he's seen these guys. He's like, no, this guy's great. Like Disco just be like, oh, Pentagon and Phoenix, whatever. Like Phoenix is awesome. And Conan's like, no, Phoenix is great. He's like the next Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
So, like he knows his shit.
His track record is pretty phenomenal too. Of
He's
guys
like Dreamer in a way where
he's like Dreamer.
everybody likes him.
Yeah, like he
For
discovered Bray. He worked with Chris way back in the day. Phoenix and Pentagon were his projects, and all that. Like, and on and on and on. That's why I don't watch too much lucha. But when I hear him mention this guy's going to be a big deal, I take it seriously because he's very. I mean, when does Conan pick someone and it's been a failure? It's just not the way it goes.
And Disco likes Kevin Owens, so I mean that's a whole different story for another day.
I like Kevin Owens.
Oh come on!
Wait till he comes in. Him and Sammy coming into AEW.
That will literally do.
That'll be the jam. Dozens.
Owens is a company killer. I don't know if anybody knows that.
About Owens versus Jericho again. What about that?
He literally almost bankrupted and killed Ring of Honor. NXT. When he did NXT turned to shit. And then they got rid of him. And they gave him an awesome feud with Cena. He looked like crap. They gave him the belt. They got
I love those matches.
They got the worst ratings ever. They frigging would call up Goldberg the next day. They're like, okay, can you come back? We need you.
John Paz hates Kevin Owens. Hot news. Hot news. So
I was saying this the other day when him and Jericho were partnering. If you were a casual fan, you turn on TV, you'd be like, "Why does Jericho have a butler now?" Or like, "Why does Jericho have Ralphus 2.0?" Like,
no,
come on.
That's funny. Company killer. That's like that was the old Steve Carino curse. Carino would come in and the company would die within 6 months or something.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because Carino was awesome.
I like him. Yeah, I like Steve. Another
you missed Carino in ROH, by the way.
I saw his best run. Later. Was his best run against? What about against Kevin Steen?
I didn't. I was kind of into that a little bit because I like Carino, but his best feud was Homicide. That was awesome.
You know who I liked showing up in Ring of Honor? Cliff Compton. Nobody gives Cliff any fucking credit. Cliff was awesome, dude. He really, if he didn't retire, I don't know. He was in Chicago. He's like Punk's dude. That's like his best.
But him and Kevin Steen hold the prestige, honor, and Ring of Honor of having the worst match ever in the history of Ring of Honor.
That was a bad. What, the one where the hardcore match?
Where there was like after the show was over, the death before or whatever, the fight without honor. Okay. They literally, the whole match is ECW spots. So my buddy, who's like the biggest ECW mark ever, he goes, "Oh my god!" He goes, "They're going to do the Sabu spot." They do the Sabu spot, then they point. Then he goes, "Okay," he goes, "Oh shit, they're doing the Sandman spot."
Yeah.
They're doing the Public Enemy spot. Like my buddy was calling everything, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, I was like, and AJ Styles made his like big return. I was like, and AJ's not main eventing right now. I was like, what the hell is going on?
What a great
was
time
awesome.
period that was when all those guys started coming out, like
That was
AJ
cool.
and Joe and Kazarian and Daniels were all leaving TNA. You know, that really, I know Mike's got to go to work, so I'll stop dragging on, but that really, like, along with the Bucks and Kenny and stuff, those guys coming out of Impact, AJ and Joe and Kazarian and Daniels, you know, that really, you know, breathed some fresh air, breathe some fresh air into everything, you know, Ring of Honor, you know, everything.
That was a great period. I love that.
Yeah.
Mike's got to go to work. What the hell?
Yeah, Mike's got
Tomorrow morning.
go to sleep. Oh, I thought you were giving us the Iggy that you were tired.
No.
All right.
I was gonna say going to work. Oh my god, we're working overnight. Shit.
No, I get up at 5:30. So, yeah.
Damn.
I'm not working.
You should start Mike Durbin Video Productions. Legitimately start and start.
I tried to do that.
Didn't work.
5 years ago. I bought all this camera gear. I spent like 10 grand on a video gear because I wanted to start filming bands and like local bands. And you know, I got really good at editing the live footage, and I had some really good work that I did. And then, dude, all these bands just don't want to pay the money. They
What about wrestling?
Wrestling? That was one thing I thought about when I was at the NWA weekend, and I was like, just watching everybody set up, and you know, you could walk in there and just at any point and just watch. You know,
Yeah.
there was like really no security, so I was like, man, I really wish I would have gotten into this line of work, you know, at some point, because I could have done anything, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I could have, you know, whatever.
It's not over, buddy.
Photography.
Not over for you.
I'd love to do like, you know, live photography at the matches. You know, the camera guys, you know, not the video cameras, but like the still cameras. Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to try that and just see what I can do, because I did, you know, for years I've done live concert photography, so it can't be that much different.
Yeah.
The lighting's better. You know, shooting concert photography is hard because the lights are dark for most of the time, and they're always changing, and you know, strobe lights and stuff. Like, wrestling lighting is pretty easy. It's, you know, especially during the matches, it's really even the whole time. So
I don't know what they did in AC for this Guns N' Roses show I was at a couple weeks ago, but the spotlight was always a second behind whoever they were going for, and it was noticeable to me. Like, I got weird tics like that now, where I notice stuff like that. I think I've said it to one of you guys before. Like, I notice on TV shows the sound effects. Like, I think that's what I want to be, the sound effect guy. That's what I want to go into. Like, whenever someone puts their phone down or checks
Foley artist, if you will.
yeah,
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Or doors slamming, horn honking, footsteps, whatever. Like, for some reason, my ears are in tune to all that now from just editing and recording. I was like, man, maybe I'll transfer into that someday.
What was GNR at Hard Rock?
Yeah.
Nice. I wanted to go to Toby Keith, but I missed it.
It's a great venue. I really liked it a lot. So
I believe I've seen Black Label there before, BLS, if you're familiar. Very cool venue.
You know, star frontman Chris Jericho and Fozzy were there, but do you know who they opened up for? Trivia question.
No idea.
Mike, you got to guess? Nickelback.
This is recent?
It was Nickelback.
Oh, Jesus. What the hell? Those two don't go together.
Open for Nickelback. That's a big slot.
Yeah. But it just doesn't seem like the right type of music for Jericho.
Yeah.
They're gonna say Down or something, or some good band, but
No, Nickelback. I hope it was good money.
All right, but let's head towards the wind down, head towards the finish as Mike has to go to work. Mike, what else should we look forward to? Get My Go season 2. Just give us something, not Otaku, not Johnny Boy, something else.
Well, we really haven't finalized anything. I mean, we've always thrown around the name JD from New York, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, the thing is with him, it's like, now that guy is majorly successful. Like that guy makes a lot of money. I've seen his streams where people are throwing money at him. I don't know why, but people are just donating $5-10 here and there. And
he's got a big following, a big fan base.
I'm seeing it rack up, and I see his numbers that he does, and the guy is big time, you know, in this industry.
Very strange.
You know? So it's like, do we want to go after somebody that big? I mean, he's certainly got his fan. I mean, who are we? You know, But the guy he says some ridiculous shit sometimes, and just his the voices that he makes when he gets really mad about something. Like, how can you not make fun of that? I mean, he said shit about Conan and Disco before, which really that pisses me off when you attack our close, great, good friends there, man.
Yeah.
Conan and Glenn. So I'd like to find those clips and do those at some point, But if anyone has any ideas of people we can do, send them to me. I'd love to hear them. I'm open to anything.
Yeah.
What about let's just randomly say like make fun of CM Punk or Jericho? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Who's next?
We may do those episodes.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
I like to do it with.
Talking about making fun of somebody bigger, right? I mean, go for the top.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody in wrestling that that I would hate enough right now to do that.
You know what I want to do?
Don't have any. Yeah.
You know what I want to do, and it can't be Forget My Go because it'd have to be on. I'd have to do it on my show. But I was thinking of doing a show where I critique all the brand shows, like their audio quality level.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're obsessed with the audio.
I am. I really am.
Taylor Hendricks are getting on here.
You should do that, and you should get it aired on the brand. That would be the best. That would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, you're telling me you don't want it on your network.
No, I'm not saying that at all. No. I just think that would be funny to have it as an addition.
Let's head towards the plugs. Joseph, what do you got?
Mike knows them by heart.
Really?
Every Monday, you can catch me on the Raven Effect with Raven and Rich Bikini. Subscribe to the K100 feed, K100 with Conan and Disco. The main show comes out Fridays more often than not now, and you can get K100 Talks on Sunday and Rehash on Wednesday. K100 Talks would be your pop culture / news, about 15 to 20 minutes of Conan and Disco discussing a topic. Rehash is a look back at the early years of the show and some unreleased stuff that was only on Patreon. And, of course, the main show. When's this coming out?
This will be next Wednesday. Yeah.
Well, then your previous episode of K100, which came out last Friday, is going to be a super-sized, most likely 3-hour plus episode that we still do every now and then. There's so much to cover and to talk about, and there's guests, and there's battles, and there's ambushes. It's going to be a good one. So if you haven't heard it, go back and check it out. And you can check out the Creative Control Network at the CC Network One on Twitter. We're on Spreaker and Amazon, Apple Podcasts, everything. You get Kevin Sullivan's Taskmaster Talks. You get As Up Here with Francine. You get Taking You to School with Dr. Tom Pritchard now, which I wholeheartedly enjoy and would listen to even if it wasn't on the network. Dr. Tom is great. He was one of my early guests. Got a big soft spot for Dr. Tom. He's super knowledgeable, and more people should know about him and hear his stories. Mike Durbin's on there. Husey, an honorable mention with Shane Hagedorn and Jeff Schwartz. If you're a Ring of Honor fan, check those guys out. They do your Ring of Honor retrospective on an event or a topic every week. Husey, Outlaws and Gunslingers with Bang and Dang is your true crime / Old West / gangster story. If you're into true crime in American history, check these guys out. They will take a look at a famous name from the past or famous event and do so with their unique humorous slant. Apparently, I heard they do enjoy swearing a lot. I heard we get a swear-free episode this week. I haven't heard it yet, but that'll be something new.
Are those the Indonesian guys?
Yeah, the two Indonesian guys. Yeah. Business of the Business with Mr. John Paz and I don't know, Labby Margolin.
There you go. Perfect.
I'm all right. Good. I've been saying it right because I wasn't sure. And so that's your deep dive into the business of pro wrestling, ticket sales, ratings, who's drawing, who's running shows, who's going where, and all that. That's if you're into that behind the scenes, behind the curtain shit. I've learned a lot from listening to that. So check that out. Add that to your weekly schedule. And way back playback with Pat McNeil and Jim Bailey. Pat from The Torch, Jim from The Observer. They do a 1-hour watch along each week of a fan voted event. So, for instance, last week they were doing WCW Fall Brawl 97, and they reviewed Dean Malenga versus Jeff Jarrett. The week before, they reviewed Chris Jericho versus Eddie Guerrero. But they've done World Class, they've done AWA, they've done ECW, they've done WWE. And it's if you have the network, grab one of their shows and just do the watch along. It's informative, it's humorous, and those guys are great. They do a great show. Great combo with those two.
Love Pat. Pat's the man.
I guess that's it. Check out T Public for the K100 T-shirt store. It's just getting started. Right now we have kind of like K100 flag T-shirts or mugs or whatever. You got your American flag, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Irish. You have a pride flag on there. Let's not forget about the K100 pride flag T-shirt or hoodie or like I said, coffee mug, cell phone case, whatever. I like T Public, and we're gonna work hard to get that going. There's gonna be some new shirts coming, some unique looking ones, little cartoon gimmicks. I'm looking forward to it, and that is it.
Nice. Did you know, by the way, just random thought here or random trivia, CM Punk shirts 2021 sold over 100,000 shirts. Pretty impressive, right?
It was that the return shirt, right? The one that looked like the 2011 shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. NWO, which is the GMG inspired shirt, in 1997 sold 16 million. So Punk's got a little catching up to do, but still, it's damn impressive.
Million, damn.
It's just not. It's no NWO, obviously. Welcome to the business, honey. Durbin, what do you got?
Business, honey.
Yeah, speaking of T-shirt designs, I designed this for Glenn, and he didn't seem too enthused about it.
There's not much with, like, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
I brought the T Public story. He's like, your ideas seem to work. I don't care. Just do it. Basically. Yeah. Like, just do it. Just do. You don't even have to ask me for most things unless you think you really have to. Just do it.
Yeah, but I'd like to plug beardedwickcandles.com. It's my friend's candle company. beardedwickcandles.com. And this guy's got the most delicious smelling candles, and he makes them by hand. Check them out.
I'm glad you're plugging that here, because don't think about giving any free plugs out on CCN airwaves without giving me my piece, my cut.
He's going to have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Your socials? Nothing? You're at Mike Durbin? Nothing?
Yeah, at Mike Durband on Twitter, at Get My Go Show, youtube.com/Mike Durband, youtube.com/Get My Go.
Yeah.
Season 2 it started. New episodes coming soon. What else do I want to plug? Oh, I want to plug the NWA. I mean, I talked highly about it earlier. I really encourage people, try it for 1 month. It's $4.95 a month. For that $4.95, you'll get all. I think they have like 40 episodes as of now. Check it out.
What's the hot chick quotient over there? Who's going? What do they got?
They don't really focus on that. I think now that Empower started, it seems like the main event on tonight's episode was a 3-way women's match.
Mm-hmm.
So I think hopefully
Chelsea Green, no?
That was last week. Yeah, I think that was last week. But this week, it's Sky Blue, and she's from Chicago.
Oh, big fan.
Yeah. I think I like the looks of her.
Yeah, she got a great pop in her hometown. Thunder Kitty is in the main event. Is in the 3-way.
No idea.
She's also a Shimmer wrestler. I forget the other person, but just check it out. I mean, Nick Aldis is taking a sabbatical. Nick Aldis, John, did you hear? He thought I was a Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah.
That was not nice, yes. But I'm actually surprised he got 3 years probation. And Conan kind of agreed, even though he's the judge. Should have been worse.
I don't know. Here's the thing, man. I mean, Joe, you should have had me on this week. Joe should have had me on last week, actually.
Joe wanted you on, but I heard somebody nixed it, yeah.
Is that right? That's even information outside of my wheelhouse.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, tell me who
Put the
nixed it?
kibosh on it.
Conan didn't want you back on, is what I heard.
Really?
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all.
I'm making that up. I have no idea.
Yeah.
If anyone, it'd be Glenn, because Glenn did not like my review. But
yeah.
Oh, ouch! Come on, Glenn.
Mickey James liked it.
Yeah. Maybe I'd
shouldn't
like
that carry more weight? Come on.
Yeah, but anyway, Nick, his recalling of the story was like 50% accurate, and then 50% just fabrication.
Well, you have to remember,
he definitely knew who I was.
He was so exhausted.
Yeah, right. He knew who I was, and I bought his fitness book, right?
Uh-huh.
And he also autographed that to me, and he wrote a very inspirational message in it. We had a great talk about fitness and his supplements. LegacySups.com. Use the code K100 for 10% off. Is that what the code is, Joe?
Yeah, unless do we have another one? I can't remember, John. Did you have Legacy Subs on Sullivan or something?
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, I said. That's what I said. Taskmaster.
Yeah. There you go.
Or Francine, or well, that's it for us, really.
Yeah.
So, and that code repeats. So if you want to use K100 one time, or Francine another, Taskmaster another, they're good forever. 10% off.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I have to do that. I'm fucking fat. So
But thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Michael.
Oh wait, I got one more.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes.
Don't forget at JFFEENEY3RD on Twitter. Don't forget the Amazon wish list. And you know why I'm saying this? Because by the time this airs, the following week I will be 40 years old. So don't be afraid to send me a nice birthday wish.
You old bastard.
With a present. Yeah.
You old bastard.
Yes, sir.
But thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Michael, for joining me. Appreciate it. And of course, check out Get My Go Season 2. It is a very decent show.